Race issues, gender gaps, equality, let's not stop. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, I am launching my new baby, my new podcast. I have something to say. Let's talk about it. And I'm going to jump right in. First, I'm going to share just a little bit about myself. And then as we go along on this journey, you will learn more and more about me. I am a 57-year young, retired / disabled licensed practical nurse, as well as I hold a degree in paralegal studies. But my main passion has always been music. I was actually born into music. My mom owned a record shop in Churchill for 25 years. And my father, who was good friends with the great Jose of Jose Productions, worked alongside with him for a long time with promoting concerts and whatnot. And I remember as a little girl going along with them at night as they would staple the promotion posters for concerts up on the utility, what you call those things? Utility poles. They don't do that kind of stuff anymore, but that was back in the day. Things were a lot simpler then. But I have always been around music, always. As an adult, I've had the pleasure of meeting Bobby Brown, Tank, Kim, goodness, so many people I've had the pleasure of knowing, and I just thrive from music. So with this podcast, we will get a little political. We will talk about relationships, with women's issues, minority issues, whatever it is that you would like to talk about. Nothing is off the table. You want to talk about it, we can get into it. With that being said, I have the pleasure, and some of you who have already been listening to The Drive on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays already know that I have one child on the radio. But today I have a second one, and I'm proud of him as well. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you all Antoine Joshua Canty. And
what's going on, y'all?
He didn't tell me his as known as name, y'all.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm gonna let him
So,
tell that when he introduces himself
yeah.
and gives y'all a little bit of background about him.
Okay, so yes, my name is Antoine Joshua Canty, aka Ty Breeze. I am a father. I am an artist. I am a provider. I am passionate about music in every aspect of it. I enjoy life as it is, as it can be, and how it may affect other people. And I'm just here to shed a little light on just about everything, but especially music. We're going to get into that.
All right now, all right. Okay, Tabriz. I got to get used to that all over again. Haven't heard that in so long.
So long, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me pick your brain a little bit.
Sure.
How would you say we're going to talk about hip hop because that's your genre.
Yes.
You know, I'm old school, but
Right.
hey, we'll get into that too.
Well, you know, hip
But
hop is universal. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool.
How would you say the hip hop of 20 years ago differs or has changed as compared to the hip hop of today?
Ooh.
Take your time
I
now.
love that question. Well, all right, let's go back to 20 years ago, mind you. There was a time where music was just music. There wasn't anything, there was no agenda that we knew of behind all of that music. We just knew what sounded good to us. And a lot of the time, we didn't really dive into what people were trying to say. Maybe they had a message, maybe not. but it sounded good to people of a mass majority. So it worked. But I think social media has given people a reason to be critical of things that are not themselves. So as social media became a thing, it started to become easier to look at the music now as a bad thing, because back then it was the same thing. It's really the same thing. The only difference is there are little tiny microscopes now, especially now, on what people tend to say in their music. So much so that people will almost go to jail for it now. You know, back then, there was no real microscope on a lot of what they were making music for. A lot of those people were making music just to get out of what situation they were in. You know, and some of them would talk about the situation that they were in, and with the hopes that the music reached people so they can avoid situations like that. The music hit people it impacted people in a different way 20 years ago versus now.
Right.
Now it impacts people to a point where they feel like they have to change their lifestyle in order to understand where they're coming from. And you don't have to.
Right.
You can it takes little to no effort to just sit down and listen. The music back then, 50 Cent, for example, he was into all of that, and he got shot. He was just talking about, you know, what led up to that situation and everything after it. That is no different from anybody else who is saying the exact same thing now. The only difference is now you can be tried in court for this stuff. Like, it's almost like they're stripping people that have something that they want to say about their circumstances away from them. And they might want to have they might be doing the music the same way we was doing it 20 years ago.
Right.
They might have something that they want to say to people, to the point where, you know, this is how I'm living. I want to get out of this, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But that's a double-edged sword too, for real, because these are just regular people that go through less than ideal circumstances. And what other outlet would they have if there isn't even a community to give them one? They might be in a community where they are stripped of whatever resources they might need to use to talk about this stuff.
Right.
But if music is the outlet, then I'd let them use it.
Yeah.
Just let them use it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Right.
I feel you. That's dope.
There's a lot that goes into the change of a thing, the evolution of a thing. It's not going to look the same way it looked at inception. You know,
No.
hip-hop, the way it was, is still how it is now. But now people feel like if they don't have it, they're not a part of the crowd. Versus being back then, you had to work for the jewelry and the cars, and that took money that produced a massive impact on how it shaped the community of hip-hop.
Right.
It's supposed to be a place where anybody can come and speak their mind. So let's try not to normalize the making of the music as a means to paint a picture on a person about
criminalize the
right,
person.
Right. And then you demonize the entire thing because that may be all you hear. But if you really think about that, do you think those people control what other people hear?
No.
It makes you wonder, if you're so against the music being made, why don't you provide these people resources so they won't have to talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot deeper than just it being music about things that are a detriment to the community itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the idea that we don't even have the resources to stop any of that stuff from happening, let alone slowing it down.
Right.
We have to work as a team, inside and out,
Mm-hmm.
because the outside is really the issue. We're going to have the issue inside if the issue is always outside.
Right.
The issues come in, we harbor them, and then next thing you know, our neighbor is all of a sudden an enemy when we haven't even seen outside of the community we live in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real issue. And it has leaked into the music, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. I know in my era, when hip-hop began, we had NWA
Mm-hmm.
and we had Public Enemy.
Right.
So we had two totally different groups.
With the same message.
Same message, different styles of expressing it,
Right.
but yet they were still perceived negatively by, gotta use my best word for this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say oppressors.
Okay.
I really do.
That's a good word. That's a good word. That's a good word.
All because they were saying the truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that is, well, quite naturally, you feel like that's kind of still going on right now?
Yeah.
It's just a different day.
Right.
The
Right.
song is still the same.
Right. And as we know it, realistically, all of the music of empowerment
Mm-hmm.
is slipping through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing, because that'll help the dynamic that is, radio spins. You got different places with different types of styles of music. If they all can have a message of unity in them in some way, shape, or form,
Mm-hmm.
we will be a lot closer now than we ever were in terms of what the bigger issue is.
Mm-hmm.
Poverty is still an issue.
Right.
Oppression in a modern form is still an issue.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of resources is still an issue. And it'll always be an issue if you're willing to throw that at us, because we're going to have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have resources, what do you think we're going to do?
Right.
It's fight or flight at that moment. You give us no option. If you gave us options, how much you want to bet all of the things that you don't like about us will disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Music is just the start of it. That's the message. That's a universal thing. If we can change that just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
even though realistically it's NWA was its own little, they weren't after other black people. They were
speaking on police brutality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So was Public Enemy.
Mm-hmm. Ice-T.
The difference was Public Enemy was conservative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
NWA they told it to you straight.
Mm-hmm. No chaser.
And that's what it boils down to. Let us not be an enemy of our neighbor, but the enemy of our keeper.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why they keep us in this predicament, and then we make the music that we make. It's almost like, what other choice do you give us but to tell you that we're doing something wrong just so you can give us the attention we need?
Mm-hmm. Attention by any means necessary.
Right. And if we gonna get it from you, we might as well get it from you the violent way, because that's how y'all been doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't push us up against a wall and then expect us to just take punches. We're not doing that. We can't do that. And we shouldn't.
Exactly. So I really don't listen to the hip hop of today too much. But the hip hop of today, do you feel like it's telling stories? It's speaking of anything of substance? Because
Yes.
I've heard
and no.
some of it, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, okay. So record labels are still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as record labels are still a thing,
Mm-hmm.
there's always an agenda behind signing to said label.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, I don't think we realize that if you give somebody something they've never had, they are almost guaranteed to take full advantage of it, and not in the way that people think.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine growing up in an environment where you see money moving, but you've never had any yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But you have talent that could make you a ton of it. And somebody who's not even from the neighborhood just so happens to tell you that you got something and they want to sign you to a record label.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't even think you knew. A lot of the time, people don't know how to read contracts.
Amen.
So when you tell somebody something instead of having them read the contract, you could be like, all right, look, I'll give you $1 million right now for this song
Mm-hmm.
if you let me have it, but you can perform it.
Right. All
They're
they
gonna
hear is
$1 million.
$1 million.
They're going to take that. So with that being said, there's always going to be that person that has never seen that money before and is willing to grab it because it's that easy to get, not knowing that they might have to pay all that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So as far as the independent scene goes, it's at a stage where it can be appreciated, but it can also be used as a weapon
Mm-hmm.
against the people that are making that music.
Right.
And it's weird because when you talk about having freedom of speech and then going through stuff to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you have no other choice but to resort to that,
Yeah.
like you don't want to go out here and do nothing to nobody. You just want people to know, like, this was how I'm living.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of the people that we hear on the radio don't, like I said at first, it's the idea of them having the money given to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to make the music based on however they was making it because that's how they got there. But it's definitely a very complicated situation in terms of how to address the music, and more so just putting ears on it that doesn't have to resort to an opinion that affects the way the music can sound to somebody else.
Gotcha. Tabriz, we're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back, y'all. We're just going to pause for the cause. NWA, there used to be this parental advisory label that was placed on music that had explicit lyrics, lyrics with drug use, that type of thing.
Right.
Now with music being on a streaming platform, that label is embedded in each song instead of just being placed on the entire project.
Right.
As a father, do you feel like that's still a valid concern?
Well, when you look at the terms of how music is brought to the people, it can definitely impact how the youth will portray what's being said, especially if a lot of those words tend to be used inside the house. You know, kids mimic. They do a lot of mimicking because they're curious about what's being said.
Right.
So, as a dad, I have to watch what I say, and that in turn helps them watch what they say. So when you expose your children, or just the youth in general, to things that they're not even old enough to understand, you're kind of forcing them to be in a mode where they gotta be in that. Like they gotta be in it to understand it.
Right.
And that translation it's unfortunate. So it's just a matter of being able to tell people in a different way, like, this is not, I had to go through this, but you don't. And maybe it's not as direct as that. But maybe if we got enough time to sit down with some of these people that make that music and we figure out where they're gonna go with it, if it's just about music and not about the substance, okay, that's fine. If it's about the money so you can feed your, okay, cool. But I mean, grand scheme, if we were to ask them, okay, the same question you asked me, how would what has currently been changed from, you know, allowing people to dictate what's being played to now you don't know if there is a word that they may or may not know because it's probably, the music is probably played in the house so much.
Right.
They're not going to tell if it's explicit or not. Their parents are probably listening to it and screaming it to the top of their lungs. So the parental advisory, it serves as a reminder that there are things that children don't need to hear.
Right.
Because the very first word in that thing is what? Parental. And we have completely overshot the idea of it being parental. It's just explicit now. And the exposure to that explicitness doesn't have any type of control over it. So there's kids that cuss early because their parents cuss.
Right.
Or because the music is cussing. Or they'll listen to the radio. The radio is good with at least trying to keep that on a leash. But then you'll have songs where they'll cuss entirely too much and you can't even enjoy it. Bleep here, bleep there. There's 3 words in between. How can, especially if you are in the car with a child.
Yeah, why even play it?
You know? Like, and there's nothing, if the parents have like an up-to-date car, that car's not going to tell that child that explicit language is about to be played. There's, nobody even goes to the store to buy albums anymore.
I know, I get excited when I find a record shop.
Right. Like, nobody buys albums out of a store. They go drive to spend money and go buy a disc. They don't even make CD players for cars anymore. So
everything is streaming.
It's a new age and time now, so we just got to get adjusted. That's all. We have fizzled out of CDs, and now and MP3s, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just strictly into the digital idea of just shuffling our songs. Don't matter what it is. Don't matter who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the worst at whatever that is. They'll give you some money and they'll make it work. It's just, if the message is gonna be what the message is gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
then we need to allow the people that are assuming that all of this stuff is bad to realize that it ain't really that bad if you're the reason why it looks like that. We're not the people making it how it is.
Mm-hmm. Of course not.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that just tie into hip hop itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's deeper than just the music. It's a way of life. And as a community, we have to embrace that it is that,
Mm-hmm.
even if it comes in the form of somebody in the projects. We still got to listen to that person.
Well, that brings me to, there are some artists that rap or sing about that, but they're really not from that,
Oh, yes.
just to make the money off the people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Okay. So, yeah, that goes back to my point about allowing a person the luxury
Mm-hmm.
of having something that they've never had before. You open their world up to the possibility of getting anything they want without them realizing that it comes at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help when you let somebody, especially if you close to that person, especially if they're young and you know they got talent and you know they need some money, but you ain't really got it to give it to them either. The best course of action as somebody who is in their ear is to just tell them, like, look, if you are going to get that money, you need to be careful, because there's a ton of youth that want to get into this without even knowing what it is.
Right.
So they make the music, go independent, they find people, they go places. Cool. That's cool. Let us not forget that if there is a message that needs to be pushed, it is deeper than the person pushing it.
Mm-hmm. There's always an agenda.
We are only messengers.
Yeah,
We are not the product.
absolutely.
What we say can be held against us under the court of law, but this is what we see every day on our streets.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that when I tell you what I see, I gotta go to jail for that? I'm in an environment where I ain't got no choice. If I don't do it, I don't live. I don't survive. I don't do none of that.
Mm-hmm.
How is that my fault? I get it. And then on the other end, there's, you gave them that. They took it because they felt like they needed it. There's a back and forth of, are we this
Mm-hmm.
because they think we're this?
Mm-hmm.
But if the thoughts of people that have the opinion of said people that are going through the stuff and telling y'all, like, these are the circumstances we in,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you sympathetic towards that? Why is it looked at as a crime all of a sudden? Mind you, we're not the product. If we touching it, that don't make us the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
That make us a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because at the end of the day, people don't have to resort to that.
Mm-hmm.
But if a person can sit down and tell you what type of resources they got, how much breath do you think they're going to waste? Because they're not going to have it.
Right.
They're not going to have it. Their parents probably didn't have it. and that means that they're not going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
If the parent is working, it's probably enough to pay bills.
If so.
If that.
Right.
They still got to make sure you, especially if you're going to school, they still got to make sure you eat. You still got to make sure you got clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, a school to go to. There's no reason for a 17-year-old kid to go, I want to go kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other reason why he would think that is because they have something that he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Something that may have been in crucial, underwhelming factors at the house. Financial stability, mental stability. Mm-hmm. There may not have been a dad there. There may not have been any parents there at all. There may be a grandparent.
Right.
They are too old to run behind them. There's circumstances that are beyond a person's control, and they have to resort to lesser measures to get the results that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And it is heartbreaking. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. But at the same time, that goes back to decision making. If you know that that's going to get you in trouble, why not be involved in something that's going to take more light off of you
mm-hmm.
and into more light off of you and into what you're trying to do.
Right.
That's going to help you and whoever you feel is going to benefit.
Gotcha.
Let
me ask you this. You've been in the game.
Long time.
Mm-hmm. The music that you made back down the road compared to the music you're writing now as a girl dad, how does it differ?
Ooh, because I'm a girl dad. A lot of things that I were, and to be realistic, I wasn't really into all of that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did it because it was fun,
mm-hmm.
and it started as a hobby, and then I was like, I'm really good at this, so I'm gonna try to think of the craziest stuff I can think of,
mm-hmm.
and make it work. And then, Dad died. So then the message...
Your pain.
Right. Now I'm just like, I'm leaning into the whole, all right, I'm hurting. So I'm just going, I'm making music based on how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I realized that is exactly how music is made. It is, if you are making music because it is music, you still feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a feeling you can't explain. But if you can explain it through the music.
Right.
And that's what helps it become relatable. So, in this case, I am making relatable music. Or, in this case, I am allowing a spirit separate from what I'm used to
mm-hmm.
be the focal point of my message. Like, I could have went to jail. There's a lot of things that could have happened to me. And I chose to let music be the thing that kept me from doing anything worse.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I remind myself that the minute I start putting pen to paper, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you that this is what I've been through, and you can overcome whatever it is. If I've overcome this, you can overcome what you got. You can lose a parent and still bounce back. You can lose a job, a car, whatever. You can lose and still win.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a matter of perception. So it went from fun to, it went from joy to pain to redemption. Because now I'm at a point where I can no longer put stuff in my music that they're going to repeat. I'd rather keep all of the words out that they don't need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is how they can relate the most through the music. They are better suited to learn, to be taught through the music. They love Gracie's Corner. So who would I be to make music that doesn't at least give them a reason to sing along to it? If I cuss in my songs and they sing along to it, who you think the problem gonna be when they decide to sing it in school? At home, at their friend's house, in places that don't require that type of attitude, that type of behavior. That's gonna look bad on me.
Yeah.
And there are celebrities of a great magnitude that don't care about that. I gotta care. It's my world with these children, and they almost repeat everything I say. So I would be remiss in saying that I want to say certain things with my music, but I have to be mindful. So with me being mindful, that actually expands my vocabulary, because cussing is easy. That's why people do it a lot. In general conversation and through the music, it's easy. Because there's not a lot of words you can replace with a cuss word. It explains a lot. But when you can dig deeper into what you want to say, a cuss word ain't finna come out. It's clear, straight to the point. You don't need to break it down unless you have to. And even when you break it down, you wouldn't even have to cuss to do that. Cursing isn't a bad thing, but it's only relative to the adults that have experienced life how they see it now.
Right.
And not the ones that have yet to experience life as it may be. So we have to do our best as parents to avoid exposure of the adult magnitude to a child that is just wanting to be a child. Now, I can't necessarily blame certain parents for wanting their children to grow up faster, only because they may have had to grow up that fast themselves. So that may be all they know. The stigma to the all you know thing is real, because a lot of us were not taught the things that we should be teaching our children. So we go with what we know.
Right.
And in turn, we can still learn probably through them what we may or may not know now and can learn in the future.
That's true. I agree with that. Because when you were a baby and when I turned your mobile on at night, you went to sleep to Earth, Wind and Fire,
Yep.
The OJs, soul music. That was what you listened to.
Yep.
Your brother had classical music. That's what he listened to.
Okay.
Your sister, she didn't have any music. I dropped the ball with her. I dropped the ball when it came to her.
No, you didn't. I
Musically.
Right. Yeah, well, I guess music is still her thing. It's just not a
She
thing.
found it on her own.
Right. She found her own she found her own way to relate to the music that she liked, and that's cool. That's cool.
But she got good taste, though, in music,
She
I have
do.
to say.
She do.
Even though she got there on her own. So, with music being with the girls and everything, do you teach them? Like I taught you old school. What do you teach? What kind of music do you teach them?
So
I mean, of course, I know they know Boots on the Ground, but
yes, they know Boots on the Ground. See, it's funny because I don't really have to teach them anything. They like what they like, and a lot of the music that they like, either it don't got no words, or it's for kids. Like K-pop Demon Hunters. The song Golden, it is a universal treasure for children at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that song is literally about just allowing yourself to feel golden.
Mm-hmm.
Like you shine. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what other people think about that. You are going to shine.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the song is. Very positive.
Positive
And
affirmations.
they love that song. So they listen to this music called Brain Rot. Okay. Now, it sounds bad,
Mm-hmm.
but there are no words. They make them up.
Oh.
So there are no cuss words, and if I'm being perfectly honest,
Mm-hmm.
They use these words as if it's like a legit language,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost sounds Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
but it's animals. If you really sit down and listen to what they're saying,
Uh-huh.
a lot of them just say the same thing over and over again, and it's about animals. It's just animals.
I'm
And
gonna
then
have to
there's
check
a
that
Spanish
out.
feel at the end. Like they really souped it up to make it so you can still enjoy the fruits that hip hop can bear
Mm-hmm.
without having to hear
The language.
who is using that fruit to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to me because they don't go looking for the bad music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And they're a little young to even understand it in that regard. But like the Boots on the Ground, that's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dance.
Right.
The horses in the stable.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dance. They're not into the modern day hypocrisy
Mm-hmm.
of how people view the music
Mm-hmm.
and how the music is being made.
Right.
As long as we can keep them away from all of that,
Mm-hmm.
me and their mother as parents,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be just fine. It'll get to a point where all they'll want to listen to is either some gospel or something off of a TV show that they like that may be of kid orientation
Right.
or whatever the case may be. Well, yeah, no, they like the music that they like, and they really don't involve themselves in the radio very often, and there's not. Their environment isn't indulged with the bad music.
Right.
Their mom has a really good taste in music in terms of what she plays and what she allows them to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets respect for that. Like she's a 90s R&B type of person. So that's what's being played around them.
Mm-hmm.
So the environment is always either nostalgic for her or it is fitting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
Definitely safe.
the exposure is limited to none. And that is exceptional for me.
Okay. My next question for you is, lately, the First Amendment has been targeted, our First Amendment rights. Do you feel like that's the same regarding music as well?
Yes. I think the idea of freedom of speech has been tarnished by the idea of having freedom in general.
Mm-hmm.
If freedom is going to be what it's going to be, we should not allow people that don't understand what it means to dictate how it should be handled. If somebody has something that they want to say, negative or positive,
Mm-hmm.
we should all welcome the idea that they are courageous enough to even be able to speak about it.
Right.
The idea of freedom of speech is for people to muster up the courage to speak or express themselves the way they see fit,
Mm-hmm.
without them offending anybody else, at least to me.
Right.
But then again, the freedom of speech wasn't broken down into how that speech is portrayed. What can be said, what can't be said, what are the limitations.
Right.
There's just freedom of speech and nothing else. When you can make something or put something in a document that says something like that, and you let people read it without giving them the insight on what it actually means, you give them total control over just how it might appear to be for them. So one person's freedom of speech may not be the same as the next. They might be thinking their freedom of speech is a racial slur. This one might see their freedom of speech as something to defend that.
Right.
Because they might be offended by it. It's still a freedom of speech either way, but now it's come to a point where if we can't debate about it, we're going to fight. Or worse. And if words are going to hurt people in a way that they can't respond with words themselves, then the freedom of speech is just as dangerous as the person that is willing to act on what the freedom of speech might be for them and what they plan on doing to somebody who has that same right but don't see it how they see it.
Right. Well, I mean,
debates are crucial.
Yeah, I agree.
We got to have those.
I agree.
We got to have those.
But I just feel like this today, only one set of people have the freedom of speech, and everybody else does not, or it's at the discretion of others.
Yeah.
And that's BS.
Yeah. I to piggyback off of that, when the freedom of speech decides to be categorized based on who's allowed to speak, that then gives a specific set of people an incentive to do something that goes beyond the freedom of speech.
Right.
And you choose my words wisely. He guided my tongue, so bear with me. When there is a group of people that came up with the idea of freedom of speech, and then decide that indigenous or whatever origin they come from, if they know that what they're saying we're not going to understand, then we should help each other understand it. And I think they're banking on the fact that we don't still understand it. Because now they are making it so we can't even talk about our circumstances without being incriminated. But it also goes to show you that there is no freedom in speech.
No.
And if we're talking bigger, the only way to be free is to be rich. That's the narrative. Why? Because freedom
not
isn't
just rich though.
Freedom isn't
Rich isn't gonna get it for you.
No, but freedom isn't money. Freedom is wealth. Freedom is knowledge. Freedom is a form of art. You gotta know that freedom goes beyond tangibles. if we have the freedom of speech, then we should not be going to jail for what we said. That's not freedom. That is endangerment.
Exactly.
If we can't speak on what we feel we can speak on because we have that right, is it a freedom at all?
Yeah, and with that being said, if that's the case, that's in the Constitution, then is the Constitution even worth a damn?
It is to the people who wrote it.
They gone.
Exactly.
They gone. They can't help us.
That's my point. Because the people who wrote it was writing it during a time where they also mentioned that people were created equal.
But what people? See?
This is around the same time we were also considered 3/5 of a person. The Constitution, I'm gonna voice my opinion on it.
Yes, please.
The Constitution was not made for black people.
No, it was not.
It wasn't. It was made for the people of wherever they was at, whether they were rich or poor. They didn't, I don't even think race was a big deal around that time. I mean, there were men wearing wigs to avoid and wooden teeth. I mean, come on. Is that even real? But that's beside the point. The forefathers had an idea of what this country would look like. And I think they forgot, or maybe they just didn't deliberate long enough to include different ethnicities, because there were some back then. So, because they weren't in said country that they were writing the Constitution for, they were not included. Which ultimately means that for as long as the Constitution has been a thing, we have always made it seem like it was for American people. And even to this day, we still think it's for American people. But people go to jail for freedom of speech. People die for freedom of speech. And at what cost? Are you telling me that I have to limit what I say because you don't like the fact that I know? If it becomes common knowledge, what do you do? What actions do you plan on taking? If there really is a freedom of speech, why are you mad that the truth is... You can only hide something for so long.
Right.
And it almost gets to a point where you actually piss off people that don't like for shit to be hidden. So, I guess the best way to look at this is, if we can't outright tell you what the problem is, we're going to use this music over here. That'll get everybody's attention. The world stay moving, the music keep running.
Exactly.
And as long as the message is clear that it ain't us that's the problem, there will literally be equality for everybody.
Right.
It just gotta take one. It don't matter what color, and it's usually this color. Mind you, we're all shades of wheat now. They just so happen to be the brightest color of wheat. They not white. Okay, let's be clear here. If they were white, damn it, that'd be scary. As an actual color, that is scary to be that white. That is a pigmentation that doesn't exist. We are all in this together.
Whether they want to believe it or not.
Or not. You don't like me for whatever your forefathers thought you shouldn't like me for. But my question is, how do you feel?
Right.
Am I affecting your place of business? Am I affecting your lifestyle? If the answer is no, then who are you really mad at? Because it can't be me. You don't know me. You see the color of my skin, and
automatically.
The first thing you think of is what you've been taught, not what you know. Just because you were taught it don't mean you know anything.
Right.
You could have been taught it, and you could have just been there listening to them talk, and did nothing. Because if that's not how you feel, then you're not gonna let it fly no matter what. You'll just let them talk. You know, as children, we just gonna let our parents talk.
Yeah.
But sometimes us as parents have our own ways, and those were taught by your parents.
Right. Right.
And if we look back during their time was completely different from now. So what they were taught was either you work or you don't. You know, you gotta save your money, spend your money wisely. It's now at a point where if you can do that, there's something else.
Yeah.
You can't.
They don't necessarily still work now.
Generational wealth is still a thing, but now you are at the behest of other people's money to make your money and time. So, and not to mention, if we can print money, where is all this money at? We in debt out the wazoo, but we can literally go print money.
I don't know, but we're building a 20 million or no 200 million or 200 billion dollar ballroom in the White House, so we got some money somewhere.
That's our money. That's our money. Not only that, I don't have a dislike for celebrities, but they just like the government, low key. We buy their album, they get a cut from it. They are using, and we are taxpayers first. So not only are we taxpayers, we are concert ticket payers too. We are streaming platform spending. We are giving these people money that we don't have because they know how to do something that a lot of us can do already. Sports is a little different because these people put their lives on the line to play a sport. Football, baseball, basketball even. They have to do things with their body so that they can keep up with the sport that is going to put their body through that. So they're going to need the money to help keep their body in shape. Now we talking about, you know, the Taylor Swifts and Kanye Wests, and I'm
Chris Brown.
And I love that guy. But if you really loved what you do, as they say, you would get paid for it, right? Paid by who? Somebody got to pay you if you love it that much. But who? We don't ever talk about who the one paying. We're just talking about getting paid to love something you love. But if you love it that much, shouldn't it be out of the kindness of your heart and not for a check? Love costs nothing. Why put a price tag on it? Because now you feel like you're of value. You're of value before that. You just turned a piece of paper.
But now he's a product.
Well, yeah, now he's not even a person. He is the product of his career. And without that, what is he?
Just Chris Brown.
Just like all of us.
From Virginia, just Chris Brown.
You take away the money, you still got the person. Who is he? Do we know? Maybe not. But listen to his music, though. He tells you exactly who he is. And he doesn't shy away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though people get paid from other people to make music that those people may like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really just music is what makes the world go round, right?
Mm-hmm.
If music was to stop, I don't know what this world would look like, let alone what it might mean for people that have ideas for music and can't do anything with it.
Right.
So, I mean, as valid as looking at all of this, like we got to give all these people our money,
Mm-hmm.
if we're not the ones in control of how this money is being spent or made, then we need to find some middle ground as to what we're going to do about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's as easy as printing some damn money, then why we ain't out here printing no money?
And printing and printing and
If
printing
it's that
and
if
printing.
it's that easy, which I mean, let's be honest, if it really was that easy, we would do it by now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's not. And I think there's a intricacy to the whole process that will soon be exposed. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll dive deeper into that some other time.
Most def. Well, I don't know.
The world is scary right now, but it's not scary enough to panic.
Not yet.
Oh, but when it's time to panic, it won't be panic.
Well, here's my thing. They're all in an uproar right now because this country singer, Zach Bryan, has written this song against ICE
Mm-hmm.
and the police
Mhm.
and all of that. So they're against him and everything.
Yeah.
But he has freedom of speech with his music.
He has the right to say whatever he feels.
Exactly. So now you don't want people buying his music, streaming his music, going
No,
to his
Trump
concerts.
don't want nobody buying his stuff.
Right.
That's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
We have a president that is emotional. Never have as long as you, out of the 57 years you've been here, have you ever seen a president this emotional?
No.
How is it that we can allow the president to be human, but he will not let somebody else be? I don't get that. You can get on Twitter and say the exact same thing a nobody would say.
Mm-hmm.
But let that nobody get more credit than you. Now they're a target.
Mm-hmm.
So now we don't even have freedom of speech because the person that thinks freedom of speech is right he thinks it's only right for people that can speak with him.
Mm-hmm. They have his okay.
You have to be things that you say have to be conducive to what he believes.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that weird how we're allowing a man that can be emotional. Mind you, how old is he?
80 something. I think he's in his 80s.
He's somebody's great-grandfather. Can we not pretend that somebody's great-grandfather know how 2.5 billion people pose to run this country? There's a lot of us here. How do he know how to run 50-plus states with different viewpoints? Thousands of people. Almost millions in every state.
He's not running it. So
We let him go to Super Bowls. We let him get on Twitter. We let him call Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime announcement ridiculous. Why is it? Do you know who Lee Greenwood is?
no, personally, I don't.
I can't think of his name. But this man said that Bad Bunny was a ridiculous choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has a right to say that. Cool.
Yeah, he is right. He
And
entitled to his feelings.
Right. And then he goes on to say, if he were to pick somebody, he would pick 80s country star Lee Greenwood. It's 2025, buddy. It's not the 80s. We don't even know who Lee Greenwood is. You do. Mm-hmm. And you're not the only one watching the Super Bowl, buddy. The NFL is about making the people happy. It is not their fault that you don't care about the people. Mm-hmm. You are showing them every day that you don't care about them. That's why they pick Bad Bunny. They don't care about you. You came to...
Yeah.
They went...
I mean, there's a lot of issues that I have with Bad Bunny, but... I mean, I can think of a lot of other people they could have chose.
Yeah.
And I know why they did it.
They did it despite Trump.
Mm-hmm. They did it despite Trump.
Despite whatever he may be doing outside of that. They did that to spite him. Mm-hmm. If anything, that is a win-win for anybody of his color.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a test to see if ICE will actually...
They're not going to do nothing. Mm-hmm. You want to know why? Because if you shut down the NFL, you have to shut down every sport organization. Because they're not going for that.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of money there.
And
a whole lot of folks' money tied up there.
And you're willing to risk all of that because you got an attitude? Because you don't like illegal immigrants? He got his green card. What you mad at?
Well, they don't want anybody here that doesn't have any business being here.
So as long as they're as long as they were born here, they can't be touched.
As long as they were born here.
So you can be born of American, Irish, Scandinavian, Canadian. You can be mixed with all of that. Mm-hmm. You still gotta go, right?
If you were born here?
Yeah.
And your parents was born here?
But they have a different ethnicity mixed in the family.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, they might not have come here illegally themselves, but they're of a different descent, though. Mm-hmm. And they had American children.
Right. You
gonna send them away too?
Well, it's ICE's discretion at this point.
Can't be. How much you want to bet they got friends with with different ethnicities of all kinds?
I'm sure they do.
And the whole time they probably telling Trump, man, you know what? Because you're the president, I'll do it, but I don't like this. I know they don't like doing it. Mm-hmm. They're risking their lives.
Yeah.
They might not get to go back home if shit goes sideways. Because he want to send them out there to go get people that ain't doing nothing but trying to live their life. Now, don't get me wrong. If they came here with the intent to take full advantage of the American dream, mm-hmm. we should at least give them the chance to be certified.
Right.
At least. And if they don't want to do that, then you can... Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you got to give these people chances like we get chances. Mm-hmm. Because all they want is the same shit we got. That's why they're here. They're here because they want what we got. And they're willing to get what we got by any means necessary. Doesn't that sound familiar, though? Sounds like how America was stolen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So let's not be mad at them for wanting to come here for the same reason y'all stole it. They just want some space with y'all. They want to live with y'all. They want to make money with y'all. What you mad at? I'm not understanding. Mm-hmm. But okay, if the atmosphere is, if they are an illegal immigrant, they gotta go. Then at least allow them the luxury of being able to go through the process of being an American citizen, no matter how long the shit take.
Right.
You got the money. You finna spend it on a damn ballroom. Shell it out to the people for a program. Mm-hmm. Let them go through it the right way.
Especially the ones that have children and have established their lives here.
The ones that have children will do it without question. Mm-hmm. Because they want their children to have better.
Yeah.
You will have more of them that are willing to go through the program than ones that are not. The ones that are not, you can clearly tell they don't want to go through the process of being an American citizen probably for a heritage issue. Maybe they just want to stick to the roots. I get that too.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be mad at another country for not wanting you there because we have resources you don't. It's almost like us going over there to steal y'all shit, and y'all don't want us over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. We probably have to go through a due process ourselves to even be a citizen anywhere else outside of America.
Oh yeah, we got stuff we would have to do.
So why not give anybody else the same just due?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we got something like that going on. I just don't know the full extent of that program.
Right. I agree. But the irony of the whole thing is, with his uproar about the Brian guy,
Mm-hmm.
with all of that, it's been extra publicity. So that's more streaming of his music.
Yep.
So it's helped him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because the atmosphere is starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic in which the government is moving is changing. Every move they make is now they're putting a microscope on it. There's a spotlight on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's to a point where Trump will literally expose every secret the government has.
Yeah.
Just to stay in office. And he's not even going to be able to stay in there because the secrets involve him. He's that old.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. He's throwing around wanting to assert the Insurrection Act now. That's what he's throwing around. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does that.
Well,
this is the 9th day of the government shutdown.
Right. What's changed? It's like they shut down the government for their own fun. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody is directly tied to the government during this shutdown, then there's nothing happening. Now, government assistance, I'm not sure how that ties into that. Like, do they shut the assistance down for the people, or?
Right now, it is still continuing, but there's a question mark.
I don't think he's prepared for what may happen if he takes that assistance away. Because the shutdown is probably going to get to a point where they're going to have to use that funding to probably pay all of these furloughed workers that they have.
Which he has said that not every furloughed worker is going to get paid. The Democratic furloughed workers won't get paid. They don't deserve to get paid.
Emotional.
Mm-hmm.
When you signed a bill in 2019 when you were serving.
Yeah.
So they all can get back pay. If they were indeed furloughed.
Yeah, but now he's saying that that's not going to be the case.
No, because it's not going to be the case because he signed a bill. Just because you said they don't, just because you said they don't deserve it, doesn't mean they're not going to get it unless you make it so.
Mm-hmm.
You signed a bill, sir.
He needs to go back and watch. Back in the day, I can't remember if you watched it or not. We used to have the Schoolhouse Rock videos, and there was one on this that told you what the bill was and everything. He needs to go back and watch. He probably didn't watch it, but he needs to watch all of that.
Conjunction Junction?
It was I'm Just a Bill.
Yeah, on Capitol Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to watch that because obviously he doesn't know what is going on.
No,
nobody's helping him. They're just like,
they don't
yes,
want to.
Mr. President. Yeah, go ahead, do it. Yeah, go ahead, do it.
They don't want to.
All the other presidents, if they weren't able to do their own speeches, you knew that their speeches were written for them. It was beautifully articulated.
Right.
Not him. you can see he get up there and he's just shooting from the hip and just saying what he feels on his heart and his mind, what little bit of mind he got, but
Well,
he
guess
just
what?
saying it.
You know why he do that? All he got to do is say you fired and it's over with.
Yeah, everybody's scared.
It's the power. It's the power that they think he got. That they think he got. The context clue here is think.
Yeah,
Because they think he.
yeah.
Buddy, there's a whole house you got to go through just to even pass a bill. If the house don't agree, you ain't getting it passed, buddy. I don't care how much money you got. If the house don't agree, it ain't finna be. Sorry.
No.
It ain't happening. It's not happening. He can try though. It's actually pretty fun watching him try and be a tyrant.
Yeah.
Try.
And
Try.
then the court's saying,
Try. I'm not saying
No.
he is one. I'm just saying it's funny how you can allow somebody who is somebody's great grandfather to have a say so about somebody that is living a regular life when he's never had a regular life in life. His family's had money since they were a name.
yeah.
So you wouldn't know the first thing about what the people in the street might need.
No.
The closest thing we had, there were several examples. Obama was one of them. He played basketball at New York, for crying out loud. I think it was at Rucker Park? He went to one of these neighborhood basketball
But
courts.
he's
and
always been, a
Yeah.
people person.
he was like Donald Trump is a people person. He's a people pleaser. And that,
Oh, yeah, Trump, please.
and that's a
Self
well,
pleaser.
when I say people though, I mean his people. You know, the people that got money like him.
Mm-hmm.
But we shall see how this term ends because I don't see him getting away with any of this stuff. I see him having his fun. He can have it. We shall see you later, buddy. You can have all the fun you want. It ends 2030, bruh. It's gone. You might as well just give it up. Not even 2030. Was it 2028?
I believe so, 2028. Mm-hmm.
You see ya. We're not going to change it to a third term just because you want to. No. There's been a bunch of people that wanted a third term. They did not get one. We wanted Obama to run a third time. We couldn't even get that. So they not finna give it to you either. No. We are responsible for a lot of the stuff that's going on that y'all need the money for. They're not finna give you no third term just because you want one.
No.
Especially if you don't do good now. If you don't do good now, they're not even gonna consider it. If they're not going to consider it for somebody who actually fit the mold of a president of the United States,
Right.
Why would they give it to somebody who don't even fit the mold of a billionaire? He doesn't even fit that mold.
And doesn't even know how to speak to the United Nations.
The weird part is he's not even rich.
Well, no, you're right about that too.
He's not even rich. So what are we doing? The rich stay rich because they are in debt. Debt.
We're playing a bad Monopoly game is what we're doing.
It's tragic. So you mean to tell me that if I'm in debt, I gotta pay all that money back, but if he in debt, he get to use that to buy some more shit? What are we missing?
We need the handbook.
What are we missing? Because if all we gotta do is turn our debt into money, we'd all be in the same boat with you.
Yep,
And we're gonna figure it out too, watch.
absolutely.
Before you know it, we're gonna crack the code, and now it's gonna be hard to determine who middle class, who lower class, who upper class, because we're gonna be in the same class.
Yep.
And then what's gonna happen? Now it's gonna be Mr. I got it all, and my neighbor do too.
Okay. Well, let me just go ahead and wrap this up. We'll be taking a pause for the cause, and we will be right back. No, I'm gonna say G Money. All right, we're back. I just want to thank you all for rolling with me today, and I want to thank Tabriz for coming on in and blessing us with his knowledge. He will be coming back with us another time. We're going to do a relationship episode with him in the future. But thank you all for being with me. Thank you, G Money and Big Time Radio Network. And good night, y'all.